Taylor Ellwood here, and welcome to Magical Experiments podcast. Today I'm going to be talking about tower time and how to be present with it and work with it and make it into an experience that transforms your life. Because let's be honest here, we all have moments in our lives where we experience tower time. What do I mean by tower time? Well, tower time is the experience of a moment in your life where everything comes crashing down. Here is the tarot card of the tower from Tarot of the Cat People classic deck. So we see this tower, it's coming down, and we see these people falling out of it, and the cat, and they're kind of heading toward the ground. It's not the only example of a tower card, but it's the one that I picked out from that particular deck. And with tower time is really about the fact that the structures that are there in your life aren't working. They have a faulty foundation. There's cracks in the foundation, and the tower is a representative of that. Now, a lot of times when people see the tower, like if I do a tarot or a tarot reading or like a dual deck oracle card reading, and I see this card for people come up, I'm quick to reassure them that, first of all, the tower doesn't mean like the end of everything. What the tower means is that it's time to be open to the reality that you need to clear the room, clear the space, so to speak, in order to work through some very important and significant issues that are coming up. There's a reason that tower time is there. Tower time is representative of the fact that the current structure isn't working. It's not working and it's falling apart. But here's the rub. The foundation is still there, and the foundation needs to be worked on. And a lot of things are going to get cleared away. And it's going to be up to you to work with it. And you can resist tower time, or you can work with it. I always recommend working with tower time. Don't resist the process, because if you resist the process, you're just going to drag it out longer and longer and longer. And don't get me wrong, it's not always a fun process. In fact, most of the time it isn't. Like if you're going through a divorce or a breakup, that's tower time, because that relationship is changing on a fundamental level. The house of that relationship is falling apart. And what's left is a foundation. And the foundation has cracks in it, because that relationship otherwise would have continued working if the cracks weren't there, or if they were addressed and resolved. When you leave a job, even whether it's that you got fired or let go, or that you chose to leave, that's also an example of tower time, because you are leaving the familiar structure that you have and going towards something else. Death of a friend, a family member, parent, tower time. Purely and simply tower time. Tower time comes in many different forms and experiences in our lives. It is the ending of something, but it's also the beginning of something. And this is what I think trips a lot of people up, is that, they expect, oh, the tower, well, yes, it's the ending of something. What you had is falling apart. What you knew is no longer there. It's gone. The house is falling apart. The foundation is getting cleared away. And all you've got left is yourself. And now you've got to make your way through the rubble. And initially, it's going to take you some time to do that, because you're in a situation where what you knew, that familiarity, that safety, that comfort, it's gone. And you can either try to cling to it and try to rebuild it the way it was, but I guarantee it won't work. or you can take a good hard look at yourself, and that's in the situation, and make some changes to the foundation. That's what tower time really invites us to do. Take a look at what isn't working and transform it. If you don't like the experience that you're having, if you're not happy with the way things have turned out, tower time says, okay, I hear that loud and clear. And now's your opportunity to do something about it. Now's your opportunity to transform your life. Now's your opportunity to step into something different. Tower time is going to call on you to face everything about yourself that you haven't been willing to face. And you can be like an ostrich and put your head in the sand and avoid it, or you can accept it and acknowledge it and know that there is a certain primal truth to the experience. Tower time is tower time. Tower time really just it calls on you to be able to face yourself and face what you need to work on with yourself. I embrace tower time because, as hard as tower time is, and believe me, I should know because I have been through the tower in a number of different ways in the last 7 or so years. Tower time is Tower time has always helped me come. I've always come out the other side wiser, more knowledgeable, and like I feel like things have fallen away. Like for me, Tower time hit like in 2017 when the business that I was in didn't work out and I had to go back to work. That was a tower time moment. Later in 2019 when my dad died, that was a tower time moment. When I got divorced in 2021, that was a tower time moment. When I went through a breakup in 2022, a rebound relationship, actually that whole relationship was pretty much tower time. And even recently, the relationship that I was in ended, or at least it's transitioning. I don't know what it's transitioning into yet, but we're not together. And that too is tower time as well. And this is part of life. We have these moments of tower time. We may not have them grouped in quite the way that I have, where I've had them kind of year after year after year for the most part. And I'll admit, I am hoping that I have learned my lessons. Like I feel like the foundation is stronger each time, but there's a lot of work to be done yet. And I'm kind of like, all right, wait now. I need to double down on that work. Like I need to do my tower time work that I clearly have still not done. Because the next time I build a structure, I want it to last. And of course, nothing lasts forever. At some point, the tower happens. Something changes, something transforms. So, for example, at some point, my mom's going to die, and that'll be a tower time moment as well. At some point, I'll at some point, I'll die, and that will that will literally be the final tower time of this particular life, or this version of this life. We have tower times, and we have to learn how to be present with them and negotiate with them and experience them and accept them. If we can do that, and we can do it with grace and awareness, we can actually use them to transform our lives in a very powerful way. For me, I think case in point is that in 2022, I got broken up with, actually, the person that I was with. And I was not in a good space at all for a while from that, but I used it to push me into a direction I needed to go in. I got into the men's work that I needed to get into, and I started really figuring out, like, who am I as a person and a man? And that work has continued to carry me forward into new directions and into healthy community, healthy connections, healthy relationships overall. And it's helping me transform my life in a very powerful and real spiritual way. And that to me is also tower time. Like, that's a benefit of tower time, is that tower time, if we accept it and embrace it, gives us the chance to move forward. If we resist it, well, then at some point we'll experience tower time again. And case in point, in 2021 I got divorced, and that was tower time. And what did I do? I resisted it. Instead of staying single for, as long as it took me to heal and to do my inner work, no, I jumped into a rebound relationship within a few months. And that rebound relationship led me to a year of turmoil for the most part. I was with a person that was absolutely not healthy for me. I wasn't healthy for that person. Like we were not good for each other in any way, shape, or form. But the only thing that was really good was the sex, and even then. But it was significant for me because it helped me to see some patterns, and now, and it helped me to start transforming my life. But I think, like, if we keep having tower time is also like an indicator of, like, hey, you haven't done your work, or there's something you need to work on, because you continue encountering tower time. You're not going to stop. You're not going to stop encountering tower time until you get this work figured out. And again, sometimes you could have your stuff figured out, and then something happens, like the death of someone you care about or something like that. And that too is its own tower time. And it's important to recognize that. We can't control everything around us. We can only control ourselves. And even that is really dubious. Maybe the better thing is we can learn to be present with ourselves and present with the experience. So this is what I would urge for you to do if you are experiencing tower time, is be gentle and compassionate with yourself, but do your work. This is an opportunity. And if you take the time to do the work right now, if you take the time to kind of look at, like, where was it that I needed to change some things, or where is it in my foundation that I need to work, then you can transform your life in a really significant and powerful way. You can take that tower time and use it as an opportunity for growth. And that can be one of the most beautiful experiences that you have in your life. All right. So if you're watching this, I hope that you have clicked the subscribe button and the bell notification so you can be notified. And thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your day.